Hey, it's iCkEdMeL. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for stopping by. I'm still sick, recovering, but I'm over the hump and I'm ready to get back into making videos. Now, I wanted to bring you guys this update. You may or may not remember this story with regards to James and Amy, the 2-year-old, the 7-year-old. They get into an argument in the vehicle. The mother leaves or gets forced out. James, there's nowhere still to this day to be found. The 2-year-old was found deceased with hypothermia. The 7-year-old is alive. And so I wanted to play a clip for you just to refresh your memory, or if you're new to the story. Also, I got the GoFundMe. We finally have a name to the 2-year-old that passed away, Gianna Sue Harrison. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And so I wanted to plug this GoFundMe if anybody wants to contribute to the family. I sent a donation, and this is to assist with funeral expenses and other stuff. I'll put the link down below if you want to check that out. And I also have more information with regards to the tumultuous history with Amy and James. So let me just start off with this clip to give you guys a little refresher.
Disturbing discovery of a deceased baby in Scott County over the weekend. James Harrison of Salisbury, North Carolina, is facing manslaughter charges after deputies say he abandoned his 2-year-old child, who later died, along with his 7-year-old stepson. The toddler's mother also faces manslaughter charges in this case. Well, David Kenny has the latest on this large search in Scott County.
Tonight, authorities searching here near the Scott-Newton County border for the man at the center of a toddler death investigation. Scott County authorities say they're charging James Harrison with manslaughter in the death of his 2-year-old girl. Authorities now desperately trying to locate him after the toddler was found deceased near his abandoned truck Saturday.
It's very dense. We've had the Department of Public Safety fly in the area. We've had the Department of Wildlife Fisheries out with their drones to look through the area.
Investigators say Harrison and his wife Amy, both from Salisbury, North Carolina, were with their 2 children traveling on I-20 last Thursday when they had an argument. He kicked her out of the truck, then disappeared with the kids. Her 7-year-old son, found wandering a wooded area Friday, is now in DHS custody. Their deceased toddler found a day later.
In his mental state, he was not making good decisions. When he was seen by the witness on Friday, he was actually not in any shoes, was wearing socks, short sleeve shirt, and again, it appeared to be soaking wet.
Amy Harrison is also facing child neglect charges. She's being held in the Scott County Jail.
And we did not receive a call about any concern until Friday. That's a little bit concerning when it comes to the mother's case.
Investigators say James Harrison also has a child abuse allegation still active out of North Carolina.
If you're new to this, or if you haven't seen the last video, I recommend you check out the last video I did, because I spoke to a neighbor and I also spoke to somebody that's very credible that mentioned this guy's past history and allegations and the drugs in the car. And supposedly they got into an argument over drugs being in this vehicle with the kids.
Does suffer from diabetes and needs insulin. We believe that he was using drugs at the time.
Tonight, deputies conducting grid searches in an attempt to find him and find out why he left his child to die hundreds and hundreds of miles from their home. In Scott County, David Kenny, 3 on your side.
Let me read you the notes. I spoke to somebody last night, and thank you this person for sending me an outline, which is very easy because I took my own notes, but I missed a lot of information. And so I'm going to read this to you guys while I have up the GoFundMe if you want to check that out. So Amy has been in 2 abusive marriages, and this is all I'm going to say allegedly. CPS was contacted multiple times with her previous husband, and after the divorce, there was a custody battle with their son, Junior. Later, she married James, and they had a daughter, Gianna. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. James was very controlling of Amy. He didn't want to let Gianna out of his sight. He didn't even let Amy bring Gianna along when she came over to visit. He took the phone away from her if she tried to call her family, etc. James did take Amy to Mississippi in her past against her will, which we spoke on the previous video. The police were contacted as James was nowhere to be found, and at Amy's expense, she had to be flown back to North Carolina. It turns out that James was on his way back to North Carolina without Amy. He had also taken a sum of their money out of the bank account without her knowing before the trip. Similar situations have happened in the past where they would be driving and get into an argument, and James would leave Amy by the side of the road and storm off and eventually come back. So when they got into an argument in Mississippi, I'm assuming she figured he would eventually come back as he did in the past. About the argument in the car in Mississippi, Amy found out there were drugs in the vehicle. They had gotten into an argument. James pulled into a gas station, and when Amy stepped out, he drove away. And I'm not sure if she willingly got out or if he told her to get out, which we spoke about this previously. We're not really sure. There's multiple reports stating he forced her out. Other reports that she got out on her own. She had nothing with her except her cell phone, no phone charger, no cash, nothing. I'm not sure of the time frame of how long she waited for him to come back, but she did call police for help. I'm not sure what she said or how it was worded. She was told by the operator that she had to wait 24 hours before she could report a missing person, which would make sense if that's true, the whole thing of reporting the missing kids a day later, which is still kind of crazy that the operator would say that, especially for children. She made numerous attempts to get help. I was told she was at the gas station by herself for at least 8 hours in a town that she was not familiar with, no money, and no one that would help. She was able to contact a friend of James in Mississippi that had previously visited to come pick her up. This friend lived a few hours from the gas station where she was left at. On the way to the friend's house, her and the friend stopped by a police department in a different city and was told something like, "What do you want me to do about it?" There are other witnesses that will testify that Amy came to them frantic asking for help, but they all had the notion that they must wait 24 hours. While at the friend's house, Amy was contacted by police and told that Junior, the 7-year-old, had been found. He had been left in the vehicle by James for 2 days and 1 night. He is a very smart and brave little boy. He was able to find a snack in the vehicle, and at night he would open the car door for light. He eventually got hungry and left the vehicle to find something to eat. By the grace of God, he was found by a hunter. That's the whole hunter story. The hunters found him in the area that called police. He is currently staying with family in Mississippi. Immediately after Junior was found, the police arrested Amy, and she's being held in prison for child neglect charges with a $1 million bond. That's a lot. Soon after the empty vehicle was found, then Gianna's body was found. I'm not sure how far from the truck. Gianna's body was recently released and will be flown back to North Carolina. Autopsy results still have not been released. There was also rumors that James was going to possibly divorce Amy, going to Mississippi to divorce Amy. There was also people wondering because one of the passerbyers or witnesses that saw James, he claimed he was looking for his girlfriend. So was he talking about Amy, or was he talking about some other, did he have a side chick or somebody else? So you guys comment below. You let me know your thoughts as far as the mother and should she be charged. They're saying charging her with potentially manslaughter, child neglect. And James, do you think he's alive? Do you think he's deceased? Is he on the run? Multiple articles stated he's on the run. You let me know. Now, I just wanted to thank all the people that have donated super chats, cash apps, and PayPal. Lisa, Jason, Crystal. There's multiple Lisas. Sin, Cupcake, just a bunch of people, especially on YouTube and Cash App. So just thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I'll put the link down below to the GoFundMe. If you want to send something to the family to contribute, I occasionally, when I can, I'll send donations to families of stories that I'm covering when I can. And please, on the way out, if you wouldn't mind hitting like and subscribe, turning on the bell with notifications, turning on all notifications, and the videos that I would recommend if you haven't seen that I've done recently, Devontae Richardson, I posted that on Monday. I'm going to be following up with that and maybe reaching out to family, and yesterday's live stream of Quan Charles. Take care of yourselves and